What's up, guys? This is Justin. I'm here with Dave.
Hello.
And Dave, you reviewed Halo Spartan Strike for us here at IGN. I guess right off the bat, we should go ahead and say that this is an improvement over Halo Spartan Assault.
So this one, for starters, it's launching on Steam. So you already have a console where you can play with the twin sticks with a controller.
Yep.
And that's a godsend.
Yeah. So Halo Spartan Strike, sequel to Spartan Assault. It's another twin stick sort of top-down or semi-top-down shooter set in the Halo universe. It's launching on iOS, Android, and Steam, and I don't think you've gone hands-on with the Android version yet, but we're reviewing the iOS version and the Steam version, and we are playing on Steam right now. You have, an Xbox 360 controller plugged in, which, you were telling me before, this is probably the best, the superior, sort of the perfect way to play this game.
Oh, yeah, totally. I mean, most of the weapons and skills and all that work reasonably well with the touch screen.
Sure, they did the best they could. But if you have the option,
totally go
twin stick controller is the way to go. So why don't you sort of talk about, one of the things you touch on in your review is that there's no major improvements over Spartan Assault and Spartan Strike, but just sort of some little things that make it feel better. I mean, is there anything sort of specific that you can sort of show people?
Well, one of the minor things is the aiming is improved. You see that you have this little kind of mid-range reticle, kind of give you a little bit more.
Sure.
See, grenades, you have that target, just in general,
it's just got a little bit better feel to it.
And I mean, just the addition of the Prometheans really adds another layer to the combat itself.
Right,
it's a little bit more tactical than it was last time.
So last time around, and that game did have its share of sort of be smart and duck behind cover, but that's really sort of emphasized this time around. Just like Halo on consoles really makes the most, or really puts an emphasis on different configurations of enemies really changing how you play.
Yes.
That sort of feel or that design carries over into this. So, give me some examples of how that might work.
Well, I mean, for the first 9, I think, of the 20 levels, you're not fighting the Prometheans, and,
Sure.
it's a little bit better than Spartan Assault was, but then once the Prometheans are added to the fray, it really improves things. Hopefully I can run into one of them on this level, but the Watchers, who have the ability to resurrect the Knights and the turrets, they kind of add a new wrinkle to the combat where it's not just blasting through as fast as possible.
Sure.
It's also assessing the threat and whether there's a stray Watcher around that can just make life terrible for you.
Right, they can. I think they can. They're cloaked sometimes, and I think they can heal their units. And you really kind of need to be a little bit more tactical and smarter about how you're going to progress through these levels. It's not just kind of blasting everything in sight. You talked about the Prometheans. What is sort of the plot, or what's the storyline, or sort of the justification for why you're doing what you're doing?
Well, like Spartan Assault, it's kind of non-canon. It's a simulation that Spartans endure.
Yeah, you're like a Spartan in training or a soldier, and you're in a simulation right now, which is the justification for A, sort of why you have this top-down view, and B, there's good and bad. The bad is that since it's a simulation, there's not really any consequence. There's no stakes to whether you succeed or fail. But the good is it sort of it's a tour of everything that makes Halo awesome. It's an excuse to
kind of like a best of.
Yeah, exactly. You get some Prometheans, you go back to Earth.
Yep.
You bounce all over the place. You said there was 20 levels or 25 levels?
There's 20 levels in the campaign, and one of the issues that I had is that the last 5 levels can only be unlocked when you get a gold medal on every stage.
Wow.
And I think this is kind of like a vestige of how the previous game had microtransactions. This one, you can buy boosters to get a better score or to have more health.
But only buy them with in-game currency, with the credits.
Which is XP. You get XP by completing a level, but you get bonus XP if you have a skull equipped.
Right. Sure, in true Halo fashion.
So I found myself, after completing the campaign, kind of going through the slog of, all right, so...
you need to get a gold medal. You're going to need to spend some XP on some boosters, but that means you have to grind out that XP first. And maybe you'll grind that XP and still not get the gold medals. And it's like, okay, you got to go back and grind a little bit more. So, I guess, Microsoft Game Studios or 343 is kind of in a situation where they're damned if they do and damned if they don't, because the last game had microtransactions, which sort of ruined the purity of the game. And Spartan Strike does away with those microtransactions, but just kind of replaces it with old-fashioned grinding.
Yeah, I did have. There was a couple of moments where I'm like, would I pay $1 to kind of just get through this? But I don't know. And as bad as that is, these levels don't go more than like 7 or 8 minutes.
Yeah,
so,
7 to 10 minutes. That's a good 7 to 10 minutes, 20 levels. That's a totally good value, and that's actually one of the things that you do like a lot about this game. Is we don't review games on IGN based on what they cost. It's whether a game is good or not. But that being said, it's still worth pointing out that this is a totally reasonable value for what you're getting, right?
Yeah. So it's I believe $8. No, sorry, $7, and then if you can also buy it in a bundle with the original on iOS and Steam for $10.
So, is this a game that's only for hardcore Halo fans, or, who do you think is someone that should really sort of consider picking up this bundle or grabbing it?
I'm a pretty big Halo fan. I'm a bigger fan of twin-stick shooters, top-down style shooters.
Yeah.
I really like it from that regard. Again, since it's not canon, if you're, like, super into the Halo story, read all the novels.
Sure.
Maybe this isn't the most important thing to play, but it does well by the Halo license. I think it includes everything. It has like the Covenant, has the Prometheans, it has all their weapons.
Yeah, I love the sound design.
Yeah.
It really makes you realize how iconic so many elements of Halo are, that they're still recognizable and still sort of even from a top-down perspective, that sort of trinity of melee and grenades and shooting carries over, that pacing of combat carries over. Like, it actually works really well. But this game does have you were complaining in your review, not complaining, but, criticism in your review is that there's one sort of especially notable feature that is missing, right?
Yeah, there's no online co-op or even split-screen co-op.
Yeah.
They did have that on the console versions, but not here.
Right, so it's possible, again, to reiterate, you reviewed the mobile version and the Steam version, and just like with Spartan Assault, those games didn't have co-op, but then they added it when it came to, Xbox 360. So if this comes to Xbox One, or maybe even Xbox 360, they could be planning the same thing, rolling out the, you're in trouble. Ooh, man, risky. I'll give you a sec. There you go. Okay, so if this game does ever comes to consoles, maybe we'll see the same thing. Maybe we'll see them roll out the co-op there. Where did you go?
Ooh.
Oh, you just knew.
Yep, pulled it Back to the Future Part 2. Knew that was down there, made that jump.
Right on, man. So is this the end of the stage?
It is.
So you can see, sort of bite-sized Halo missions, and then you get your score afterwards, sort of multiplied by, all sort of the feats you were able to do or what skulls you had on. Is there anything you want people to, can we sort of show off the menu screen, or, some of the options, some of the loadout options you have going into a mission, or anything like that?
Yeah, let's go to the one at crazier end levels. Yeah, so, again, you earn credits, you get boosters. I'll put on a score booster for this one.
Which, again, I want to reiterate that those can't be purchased. It's just,
just in-game credits. And, yeah, you can improve your armor. That'll make a good ending.
I saw you sort of had some, I don't know if they're achievements or sort of milestones, get 20 kills with this, do this,
That's,
do that.
another way to earn bonus credits.
Right on.
There's the Mustang Watchers.
So, as we sort of wrap up, or sort of give people a look at the early stages of one of the in-game levels, is there sort of anything else that you want people to know about Halo Spartan Strike? If they haven't read your review because they're lazy, they're only watching this video, like, what else do people need to know about this game that we haven't already covered?
I guess, it's just really, even though they didn't add any new skulls, which is a little bit disappointing since they're actually pretty vital, I do like how much other stuff they've added with the Prometheans. Like that, oh, let me see if I can pick it up. This is one of my favorite skills. Like, that guy's using it on me now, but it's a kind of a chain reaction thing that can really wreak havoc.
It's one of these games, you say in your review, something that stood out to me, is it's one of these games where it's sort of in some ways more than the sum of its parts.
Yes.
It's like all these there's no one big feature that's like, yes, this is the thing that makes this a major improvement over Spartan Assault, which was just a so-so game. But this is more than so-so. This is a good game. It's still not great. It's still not, sort of a must-play.
Yeah.
But, Microsoft doubled down. They said, no, we believe in top-down Halo, and they made an improved experience.
Yep. And, the Prometheans, that's if there's one thing I would, put the button on, it's that they really added a new element to the campaign. That's pretty rad.
Right on, Dave. Well, thanks for sort of showing us a sneak peek, or not a sneak peek, showing us, a little taste of Halo Spartan Strike. Everybody at home, remember, for all things Halo and just shooters in general, you're already in the right place. IGN.